Welcome back everybody to another episode on the channel. So today guys, we got big news on the channel today, huge news. And today we got the old boat back. I know I've been having a lot of questions about this beast right here, the old Triton. Where's it been? What's going on with it, guys? And a lot of questions like what happened to the motor? What happened when you were, when you went out fishing, whatever, because I went out that first time of the year, guys, and everything just went, it was a bad trip, let's just say that. So I figure I'm gonna clear it up for you guys today. And you know what, since we got the boat back, we don't have any time to fish today, unfortunately, but I think what we'll do is we'll go through and do a boat tour on it. So I've got everything in there. The only thing I don't have in there is my rods, which, I'll show you the rod locker anyway, but I don't have my rods in there, but everything is in there the way I want it. So I figure it's a beautiful day outside. It's a little windy, so just bear with me if the audio gets a little muffly with the wind occasionally. It shouldn't bother it too bad, I'm hoping. But anyways, we're gonna go through and do a boat tour. But before we start that video, guys, or before we get into this whole tour or whatever, let's talk about the boat motor. Oh, the old 250 Merc here, guys. This thing is a 2009 Mercury Pro XS 250, and this thing right here, guys, has been, I haven't even owned this boat an entire year yet, and unfortunately, when I was out, guys, when I took it to the shop, they took a look at it, and the number 2 cylinder went on it. So essentially, the motor just, I guess, blew up. So that is where it's been the last like 6-7 weeks. It's been completely rebuilt. It's a brand spanking new head on this motor here. So basically it's like I've got 0 hours on this motor here. So I will be going through and actually breaking this thing in the next couple weekends, 2-3 weekends here. I'm gonna try to be, going through the whole break-in process on this beast right here. So I know everybody's been asking, what's going on with your boat? Where is it? What happened to it? And that is what happened. Long story short, the motor blew up and it is rebuilt, ready to go. It's basically brand new motor, 0 hours on it. So yes, we'll have a whole break-in process video coming for you guys, and that will be fun as well. So I'm gonna hand the camera over to my wife, and she's going to kind of film while we go through this tour here. So enjoy the video, guys. Super stoked to have the boat back. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, everybody, so we're gonna start the tour here. We kind of have a lot of clouds coming in and whatnot, so hopefully the audio doesn't get too jacked up. But guys, this is my 2007 TR210 Triton. I've done a tour in the past on it, but since we got it back and we can be outside, we'll go through it completely. So I think we'll just kind of start at the front of the boat, work our way back. I think what we'll do is we'll just jump in the boat and film, we can go through the entire thing up there. Guys, so we're gonna start at the front of the boat, just kind of sitting here, but as you guys can see on the front, we have one of my units, which is just it's a Humminbird 1198, so it's got 11-inch screen on it. This thing is capable of doing like side imaging and stuff, and I think the only thing I have on there for a transducer is like the 2D down sonar on there. But obviously we've got my power pull foot pedals here, which are really, really nice. If you guys don't have these, or you've ever been on a boat that doesn't have them and you do have poles, it's nice to have these, because once you get on a fish, you can just tap that and it drops the poles and you can pick them back up. There's no having to use a remote on your lanyard, or I have a switch up here as well that I can hit, but it's just nice to have that so I don't have to bend over, run back to the console or something like that. This trolling motor here, guys, is a Minn Kota Ultrex. It's 112 pounds, so this thing is more than enough for the boat. I can fish all day, no problem, off of those batteries on here. I really love an Ultrex, guys. If you have never used an Ultrex before, trust me, it's just godsend. This spot lock on here is absolutely like just dynamite. Like if you have spot lock on this thing, and once you use one with spot lock, I should say, you'll never go back. I was originally just looking for one that would have a Fortrex, but after using spot lock on a boat before, I hands down will go with the Ultrex all day. It's really nice. This is recessed down in, but that's pretty much all that's up here, guys. It's just the trolling motor and then my unit here. Okay, so we're gonna go through the compartments now. So basically up here I've got 4 different compartments. I've got 2 basically rod lockers, and on this boat the rod lockers are on the side, and you could pretty much have them wherever the rods you want. I keep them over here on this side, and these rod lockers here, they're pretty tight, but it's pretty big. As you guys can see, this thing goes all the way up there. I have a 7'11" rod, and I can fit that all the way up in there, no problems like that. Has a seal because it's waterproof. I don't have my rods in here yet. I got to get them all in here. I just got the boat back today, so, but big enough rod locker, I could fit a ton of rods in there if I wanted to. Now we'll just go through these 2 middle compartments. So this compartment here is pretty big. This one I have all of my soft plastics in here. As you guys can see, this thing is just loaded with soft plastics, and then this compartment goes way up in there, and I've got a bunch of extra stuff up there. I've got like extra reels, extra line, baits that I've never opened before, brand new baits. That's all kind of pushed up in there because it's stuff that I'm not going to need very often, but if I need it, it's right up there. And my soft plastics I'm always using. I've got different totes. If you guys have never seen these totes here before, these are absolutely perfect. I always put white duct tape on there and label it. Easy to read, easy to find. And what I love about these right here is you can literally pick these up for like $1.60 or $1.70 at Walmart, something like that. They come with a cover, and you can fit all your soft plastics perfectly in there. So I've got them labeled. I've got different paddle tails, worms, creature baits, all sorts of different stuff labeled on these little totes here. So if you're looking to organize, I'd highly recommend these. What else do I have in here? So I've got my frogging box, all my frogs. I just keep in a bigger tote like this. This is also up in there. My Ned rig stuff, all my plastics for a Ned rig are in here as well. But that is pretty much all that's up here. This little thing right here is also just for, if I open up any new lures and stuff like that, I can throw all the plastic in there, just a little trash bag right there. But that is all that's in that compartment. Okay, so we're gonna do this compartment right here. Now in this compartment, I have all my terminal tackle, hard baits. So I've got my terminal coffin in there, and I also have another box for terminal tackle as well. If you guys don't have one of these terminal coffins, these things are absolute killer. They seal, they're waterproof, they're just nice and heavy duty. Your terminal tackle doesn't get all jingled around in there. But basically all my hard baits, my jigs, swim jigs, square bills, you know, everything, spinner baits, chatter baits, all my hard baits and stuff are in this compartment here. As you guys can see, this compartment is also slotted as well. So these bigger ones like this fit perfectly right into that slot right there and slide in. They don't move around too much. So that's where I keep all the hard baits, is right here, and then soft plastics right behind it. All right, so we'll move into this compartment really quick before I forget. Right here is just where I have my bump board. This is really convenient because this slides, I don't know, it's just nice that it's up and out of the way. It's not in its own little, I guess, compartment. I've seen them where they put them on the insides of these compartments. I like that it's right here, so if I ever want to measure something, I can just pull it out right there. All right, so this compartment here, guys, we're gonna move into. These things are pretty tight. In this one, all I keep, guys, is like extra bungee cords and stuff like that. You never know when you're gonna need these things. Life jackets are all in here. My lights for the boat are also in here for my front and the back, and then my throwables in here. And then also I keep any like extra, sometimes I keep some extra towels in here just in case the seats are wet or something's wet that I need to wipe down. But other than that, that's all I keep in here. That's I've thought about kind of changing this over into the soft plastics, but I don't know, I kind of like having these two compartments for my soft plastics and my hard baits, and then this is just kind of there. And like I said, it's just all the life jackets, and I don't think there's anything else in there. Nope, just towels and stuff. But this one could be a rod locker as well, because it goes all the way up to the front as well. It's just like that other one, just as big. So this is one of my favorite features on the boat, and it may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but this right here is actually a cooler. This little step up here is actually a deep cooler, so I can throw all my stuff in there for the day and throw a little bit of ice or some, you know, some cool packs in there, and it keeps everything cool. It's nice to have that because it's out of the way. A lot of times with my tracker that I had, I would bring my cooler with, and it would just be taking up extra space on the boat. This is just a step that's built in, and the cooler's right there, so it's really convenient for that. Like I said, it may not seem like a big deal, but for me, I really like having that option where I can just throw all my stuff in there and not have anything like clouding the way, especially when I'm filming. I have camera gear and stuff, so I like to have this open and not a lot of stuff crowding. All right, so now we're at the helm here, guys. This is where it all happens, I guess, where we drive the boat. I have another 1198 here. This has all side imaging, down imaging, my GPS, and I really like this mount here. It's like perfectly right there. So when I'm zooming down the river, or I'm having to like kind of like just map an area, stuff like that, this is a really nice big screen. I can see everything perfectly, especially my contour maps. All right, then also on here I have two blinker trims. If you guys have never seen these blinker trims right here on the side, just go up and down. This one operates my jack plate, and then this one operates just the trim of the motor. That's really nice to have because I have a hot foot down here, guys. So this hot foot is really nice so that I can have both hands on the wheel. I'm not having one on the throttle over here. And it's really nice to have these blinker trims when you have a hot foot, because then when you're zooming down the river and you're motoring down, you can just operate your trim from here. You don't have to reach for the throttle, and you can have both hands on the wheel. It's nice to be safe like that. And also, if you were to never be wearing your kill switch, which you should always wear your kill switch when operating your boat, but if you ever were to not, your boat would just be idling if you came off of the hot foot and were thrown out of the boat, so you wouldn't have your throttle pinned and the boat gone. But you should always wear your kill switch when you are motoring your boat. And then I've got obviously all my controls that control the, you know, bilge and the live wells, and then I've also got another control here to drop the power poles right there on the side. It's just a simple up and down that'll drop the poles if I need to. What I really like about this boat, guys, is in between the seat and the back here, there's a little gap, and I get to keep the net right there, which is really nice. I like having the net right there because the net is out of the way, and if I need it, it's easy to get to. There's a little bungee strap here that holds the net in, but that is pretty much what keeps it there, so it's nice and out of the way. Then we have this compartment here, guys, and in this compartment it just opens up like so. I like this because it's like a step as well to the back, which is nice. And in this compartment, all I've got is just basically pliers and then some other GoPro stuff, scissors, my scale, and just things like that. Eventually, I'm going to kind of over here, I'm going to make a little spot so that I can actually throw my tools into instead of keeping all my tools in here, just because, I don't know, it's kind of out of the way. I have to come from the front of the boat to get to my tools, so I kind of want to make something up there. I'll put in a little tool tray up there. Right here, we just have the 2 live wells. So in this live well, I have all my call tags in there. These live wells are giant. You can fit huge fish in them, but this is just the two live wells on each side. Pretty big, work really nice. Never had an issue with them, but I just keep the call tags right inside of the live well. So this compartment right here, guys, this is kind of where I just keep a lot of different things in here, kind of miscellaneous, but mainly I keep my tools in here just because you never know when you're gonna have to repair something on the water. I have this sucker in here because the lug nuts on this boat are kind of tough to get off, to be honest. When I changed my fender bunks on here, I had to take the wheels off, so I had to get one of these to tear that sucker off. Got extra rain gear in here, also keep my rain gear in here, fire extinguishers in here, and that's pretty much it. Extra towels, things like that. It's a pretty big compartment. It's slotted so you can actually fit tackle in there, but I just keep all this stuff in there. You generally want the majority of the weight to kind of go to the back of the boat so you can get up on plane a little faster, so I just kind of keep that heavier stuff back there. And then moving into this compartment here, it's actually, I think it's completely empty. Yep, completely empty. The only thing I have in here is this for my Ultrex, my controller here. Other than that, I actually keep this one completely empty because if I have any friends or family that want to come fishing with me, this is completely open for any of their tackle. As you guys can see, it's pretty darn big in there. It's deep. They can fit a lot of tackle in there. So I just keep that open for any friends or family. I'm sure at some point I'll find something to fill it up with, but for right now, that works. And this one right here, this is just obviously the back compartment where I don't really know a whole ton of a lot about here, but I know that I just have a bunch, my batteries are back here for my trolling motor and my cranking battery. My power pole pumps are back here as well. I carry this sucker in here just because my onboard charger only charges the trolling motor batteries, so my cranking battery doesn't get charged from my onboard charger. So this sucker right here I just keep in here because I hook it up and charge my cranking battery. But here is just my batteries. I have 2 like right here, and I think I have a couple other ones right over there. Then I have my reservoir for oil because it's a 2-stroke motor, so it needs oil. So I just fill that, and then I've got my power that I can turn on back there, and then my pumps. So these trays are actually really nice. These trays set in like this, but it's nice because if you have any tools or anything like that, you can just set them right in those trays. I really like having that feature on this boat, and they're just, I don't know, they're really nice. They just fit, they can slip in and out, no problem. All right, so the back of the boat here, guys, we have I think these are 8-foot power poles. These things, I've been on my father-in-law's boat, and he's got talons, and I will hands down say, in my opinion, I would rather have power poles. I think that it's nice that they drop down, and when they drop down, they kind of drop down at an angle, so it's kind of wider than the boat. I think they just hold the boat more stable. Then we have the big Mercury Pro XS 250, which was just rebuilt. So it's this, like I said before, guys, this is like a brand spanking new motor on this boat. 0 hours on the new head on here. So I will be going through the whole break-in process. We also have the jack plate on here, guys. This jack plate I think is like a 6 or 8 inch jack plate, which is Really, really nice if you're in shallow water. You can trim your motor up and down, obviously, but the jack plate actually moves the entire motor up or down. So when you're in super shallow water, especially on the Mississippi River, we get into some super shallow stuff, this whole jack plate will come up, and then I can also trim the motor up as well and get in and out of those spots without having to idle in and idle out. I can just get up on plane in really shallow water. All right, guys, so that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Now that we have the boat back, we're going to be doing a bunch of videos. I should be getting out probably Sunday for my first time with the boat, and then the next weekend I should be able to really start getting on the water a lot more. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one.